You know, guys, I have always said on this channel that I am not a film critic. I am a movie fan that likes to talk about movies and to discuss movies. And that is probably going to play an important part in this video today. So check it out. So earlier today I went and checked out Transformers Age of Extinction, which is the fourth film in the series from Michael Bay, the much maligned Michael Bay, I shall say. I'm going to pull this up on IMDb here real quick so I can reference some of the actors. This is not really a review. It's kind of just like my thoughts. You know, I guess you could call it a review. I don't really want to call it that because, like I have said, you know, in my update video that I did, you know, this movie's been talked about a ton, so, you know, it really doesn't make sense to sit here and, you know, go over the whole thing. But, you know, this movie has been widely hated. I mean, like, big time. Like, I think the last time I checked, it only had like 17% on Rotten Tomatoes, and I've looked around some comments online, and it's just fucking hated, man. And you know, it's mainly by, you know, film critics and stuff like that, it seems. But it seems like, you know, a lot of people from, you know, that enjoy the other movies have liked this. So I went into it with an open mind. I like the franchise, to be honest with you. You know, honestly, Part 3, Dark of the Moon, that was my favorite one out of the franchise. I mean, I know a lot of people, you know, liked Part 1 a lot. I like 1. And then, you know, Part 2 was pretty bad, and a lot of people just gave up on it there and didn't even watch Part 3 from what I've seen. But honestly, I really enjoyed Part 3. I think it was a great film. I mean, I had a lot of fucking fun with it, so I was really looking forward to this one. And, you know, we went in and watched it today, and, you know, I can see a lot of the complaints with it. The first thing I'll say is it was too long. There were things in this film that could have been tightened up, you know, or just left out altogether. Towards the end, when they get to Hong Kong, there's a few scenes in that just it didn't carry on the story whatsoever, and they could have been left out. There's some of the, you know, exposition scenes that could have been tightened up. Some of the action scenes maybe a little bit tightened up, and, you know, I mean, the movie runs almost 3 hours long. They could have done this in 2 hours, and I don't know why they didn't, because honestly it should have been. I don't know if, you know, Michael Bay is just set and making something that he thinks is just completely epic or what, but I mean, yeah, the runtime was a problem with this. That was probably for me the biggest issue with this film. You know, then you get into the cast. You know, you had Shia LaBeouf, or LaBeouf, however the hell you say his name, in the first 3 films. I think that Michael Bay was very smart on leaving this guy out for the fourth film. Mark Wahlberg comes in as Cade Yeager, and I think he did a much better job in this film than Shia did in any of the other 3 films. You know, the first film, okay, it worked. You know, he had his little moments, and, you know, just real skittish and, you know, full of one-liners and supposedly witty dialogue or whatever. But he, you know, he just became very annoying very quick and wore out his welcome. And, you know, Mark Wahlberg he did a much better job in this, I thought. I'm not the biggest Mark Wahlberg fan. I think the guy is just in too many damn movies. Seems like there's a movie every other week coming out that he's in. And but he did good in this one. You know, I think that he was a lot better than Shia had been. But the guy that played his worker, T.J. Miller, played Lucas Flannery. He's only in this film, you know, not very long at all, and right away, man, this guy was just getting on my damn nerves. I mean, it almost seemed like they took that Shia character and, you know, took out the, you know, the frenetic energy of him, but kept all the one-liners and all that crap and made it into this guy, and he was just really getting on my damn nerves. But thankfully, he wasn't in this film a whole lot. I think that was very smart on their part. Nicole Peltz plays Tessa Yeager, which is Mark Wahlberg's character's daughter in the film. She's from Bates Motel. She's got a lot of flack from what I've seen for her performance in this, and it wasn't the greatest, but she wasn't terrible. I mean, she wasn't as bad as what some people are saying. You know, and the rest of the cast did all right. You know, Stanley Tucci was in it. Kelsey Grammer was in it. Titus Welliver. And just, I mean, on and on. But, you know, I mean, the cast and the acting, all that, you know, it wasn't bad. But that's not why you go see these movies, in my opinion. To me, you go see these movies for fucking cars and trucks that turn into robots and they're fighting each other. I mean, I don't, you know, I think a lot of people went into this film, you know, expecting more than what it is and what the film's even presented as to begin with. To me, it was, you know, it's not supposed to be realistic. It's not supposed to have, you know, Oscar bait acting, story, script, any of that stuff in this. It's robots fighting each other, for crying out loud. I mean, what do you expect, really? Honestly, what do you expect? So I went into it thinking that, and I got exactly what I was thinking and exactly what I was hoping for. To me, it fell right in line with the other films. It had great action sequences in it. People talk about the story and script and all this, and it wasn't perfect, but none of the other three films were either, but I enjoyed them, and this was the same way. I enjoyed it, and I made sense out of everything that was going on. Like I said, some of it could have been tightened up or even left out, but it just didn't ruin it for me. I'm watching a Transformers film. I go into this for the big explosions, for the CGI robots and all that. So I really don't understand all of the problems with it. It almost seems to me like Michael Bay has kind of became like the Fred Durst of the movie industry. When Limp Bizkit and Fred Durst and all that first came out, everybody was all over him, and then the hate quickly started, and everybody just hated everything he did. And that kind of seems like what's happening to Michael Bay. He has a huge backlash, and some of it is definitely understandable, and, probably well aimed at him. When it comes to CGI, like I've always said, when it's these big budget sci-fi fantasy type movies, I'm much more accepting and forgiving of it than what I am in like a horror film or a drama film or any of that stuff. You expect it going into this. I mean, they can't create these big robots like this in a realistic manner practically. I mean, you just see how they do things in this. It can't be done. So that stuff doesn't bother me. But, Michael Bay is just really, the dude's taking a beating. And I'm not the biggest Michael Bay fan by any means. Not at all. I'm not even really a fan of the guy. But I think that these Transformer films, these are made for him. I mean, this is exactly where he should be. He should be doing these films, and I don't have a problem with him doing them. And apparently there's going to be 2 more coming along. This is like the start of a new trilogy, and I don't have a problem with that at all. I enjoy it. It's a fun, turn off your mind getaway for me. And, I've seen people, talk about liking these movies, and then you get people get these comments like, oh, you don't think for yourself, you're only getting fed what the media tells you, or oh, you must not have a brain, you must be dumb. That's crap, man. I mean, I hate that elitist attitude. I always have. And if that's the case, then I'm, stupid, dumb, can't think for myself either then, because I like this, and I know there's other people that have. I don't give a shit, man. I like what I like. And that's, like I said, this isn't a critic film. This isn't a film that, you go into expecting these great performances of, and that's why I say, I'm no critic, because I like this movie. Critics don't like this movie. I have people say that sometimes, like, oh, you're a critic of this and that, you're a critic of films, and I'm critical of films. You know, it's just in my nature. I just analyze films. I love films, but I'm no critic. You know what I mean? There's a difference there, and you know, just the movie fan in me, the action film fan in me, the fantasy getaway film fan in me was all satisfied with this movie. I really enjoyed it a lot, and I'm really looking forward to the next two films, especially with the way this one ended. You know, there's a lot of potential for the franchise to really shift depending on what they do. You know, if they really pursue what they went towards there at the very end of the movie, there's a big potential for a huge change in this franchise. There's a lot of really cool ideas laid out in this that I you know, it worked for me, and they're trying to do other things with this. So, you know, I'm looking forward to the other films. But I think that's pretty much it, guys. You know, as far as ranking this, you know, I was thinking of that after I left, and I had been all day today. I don't know. You know, to me, you know, like I said, Part 3, Dark of the Moon, was my favorite. I don't think I would say that this one beat that. It's probably right there. You know, I would put 3 and then probably 1 and 4 kind of close together, and then 2. And 2, even though I think it's a bad film, I still enjoy that one too. But yeah, it would kind of be right in that middle range of being my second or third favorite. I don't know. I need to see it again, and I definitely will. This will be one that I will pick up. I will buy this on Blu-ray, almost for sure on 3D Blu-ray. I did not see it in 3D today. I only saw it in 2D. But, you know, it was just a good film to me. It was a fun film. Not a good film, as you would say, but a fun fucking film all the way around, and I just love the hell out of it. I think people just go into this film wanting to hate it before they see it, and, you know, they only pick apart all the obvious things that you can pick apart in a film like this, instead of just going in and knowing what to expect with this type of film and just enjoying it. Just enjoy it. What's wrong with just enjoying a action film that's about robots? You know what? I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, and you're not dumb or any lower of a life form for doing that if you do enjoy this film. So yeah, guys, you know, I'd probably give this film, I don't know, 7, 8 out of 10, somewhere in that range. If it was cut down a little bit, I would probably rank it even a 9, actually. I mean, I just really enjoyed it. I loved it, and it's fun. So yeah, you know, don't buy into all the hate. You know, go into it knowing what to expect and just have fun with it, man. Just don't buy into all that bullshit that's out there. You guys can give me thumbs down, give me negative comments on that, whatever, because I've seen how people get backlash for liking this film. But like I said, I like what I like with no regrets, and I'm unforgiving on that, as you should be also. So yeah, guys, that's my thoughts on Transformers Age of Extinction. Check it out now, guys. Have a good one, and I will see you soon. Later.